Hey everybody, Ian Campbell here. So recently I got the question, if running a business is so hard, if it's so challenging to do it, then why would anybody actually do it? Why should I start a business? And the answer, we had a bit of a conversation about around that, and the answers kind of came out that were pretty interesting. So I'm going to dive into that a little bit today. In the meantime, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so that you're notified when we post new videos, all those good things. Like it, share it, all the fun stuff. But anyway, so why would somebody start a business? And that's a perfectly valid question. And realistically, the answer is not everybody should. Right? I mean, it does take a pretty specific type of person, type of mindset to actually start a business and be successful with it. And I'll dive into that a little bit in a video down the line. But if you watch my last video, you'll notice that, I mean, you'll have heard me talking a lot about the fact that there are times when, when it's pretty, the urge to just kind of throw in the towel is pretty intense, right? And those of us, for those of us that just keep going and are just, well, in a lot of cases just too stubborn to give up, which can be a huge benefit. But in a lot of those cases, it's pretty intense, right? I mean, that drive to keep going is pretty intense, and that drive just to not fail is pretty intense. But what about for everybody else, right? Why should people start a business? And so there's two main things that I came up with just kind of off the top of my head when I was having this conversation. First of all, it's because you can't imagine doing anything else, right? I mean, there's something out there that you just can't imagine not doing, right? Whether you're a musician and you want to start a business doing that, or you just love planning events, and no matter what you're doing, that you'll always end up planning an event for somebody, right? It's that if you weren't getting paid for it, would you do it anyway kind of a mentality, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm always surprised by what people figure out how to build businesses out of, right? What I've learned in the past 20 years or so of being in business and working with people to help them build their businesses is that you can monetize almost anything, right? All you have to do is figure out who's going to pay for it, what they're willing to pay, and how to get in front of those people. And those, I mean, at the end of the day, those are really the three pieces that you need to really build a business. But if you can figure those things out, then you're in good shape, right? But people are willing to pay for just about anything. I mean, just take a look at, go into Beverly Hills in California, and you'll see that there are always people that are willing to pay for something to make their lives easier, right? Now, whether or not you're able to get in front of those people, obviously that's a different conversation. But it's definitely an important thing to bear in mind, right? Because if you just can't not do something, if you can't not plan events, why aren't you trying to figure out how to make money from it, right? Why aren't you trying to figure out how to make that your living, how to make that your lifestyle? If you can't not play music, I'm a musician, right? I can't not play music. It's part of my blood. I can't not listen to music. I can't not talk about music. I can't not share little, insignificant trivia items that I came across sometime whenever, right? Because it's just part of who I am. It's ingrained in my DNA. So I figured out how to make a little bit of money off of it, right? I mean, I'm growing it, I'm building it, and it's still kind of a side hustle right now. But there are, I've been able to find people that are willing to pay me to do it. Find people that are willing to hire me to come into their events and play their cocktail hours, or show up at their bar and play for a few hours, right? Those types of things. So I do it, right? Because I can't not do it. There's a drive in me to always do it. So and if that's going to be the case, then why not make a little bit of money from it, right? There's really no reason not to. The second thing that kind of came out when I was having this conversation was about why someone should start a business is that, there's a problem that you see that you need solved that no one else is solving, right? Or even better, that no one else thinks can be solved, but you know how to do it, right? So I always go back to my dad's cousin. who is always, I've always kind of called him my cousin because, well, age, whatever. I mean, it's my family, right? I mean, this guy started Active.com, right? And he did so because he was trying to register for his first Ironman, and he was frustrated by the process. And he's like, dude, there's got to be a better way to do this. There's got to be a better way to make this work. And so he figured out a way to do it. And now Active.com is this massive, huge company, and he did pretty well from it, and all that good stuff. But there was a problem there that no one else was bothering to fix, right? Because maybe no one else felt the pain quite as much as he did. Maybe it was just kind of a part of the natural course of things that is just, this is just how it's done, right? But if you see something that you think needs to be fixed, then chances are, in fact, I can almost promise you, that there are other people out there that think that same thing needs to be fixed. And you just have to go find those people, figure out who's willing to pay for it, how much they're willing to pay for it, and then figure out how to get in front of them, right? If you can do those three things, then you will be able to be successful in business. Now, I make it just kind of lining it out there is a little bit easier said than done, of course, right? But that's, at the end of the day, those are the three things that you need to do. So if you see a problem that's driving you nuts, right, or something that could be done easier, maybe there's a better trap for the mouse, right? I knew one of the guys that was on the marketing team for the boxed wine thing, and I had an interesting conversation with him because, again, he was talking about the fact that we knew that there was a better trap for the mouse. We knew that there was a better way to get wine in the hands of people that wanted to drink it, right? And it didn't have to be, especially at the time, right? I mean, obviously, the wine industry has shifted its mindset a lot in this, and there's actually some decent wine that you can get in this stuff now. But back then, it wasn't exactly the top of the line. Frankly, a lot of the stuff that's out there in boxes now isn't the top of the line, but that's a different conversation. But at the time, they knew that there were people that wanted an easier way to drink wine. Right? They wanted an easier way. They didn't want to have to go buy a bunch of bottles, store a bunch of bottles. They didn't have room for them. They didn't want to deal with corks and corkscrews and all that good stuff. They just wanted something that was simple. They could tap it, pour it, and then put it back in the fridge, and then move on until the next time they wanted a glass of it. So they figured out how to do it. Problem, solution, right? And of course, with this, it was a marketing play, and so they identified the problem and kind of engineered a solution with a marketing team. But again, if you're doing that, get people around you. Get to talk to 5 or 6 of your friends who all are interested in the same thing, and say, hey, listen, this drives me insane. Does this impact you too? Are you bothered by this? Can this be better? And then spend some time. Spend a day, 2 days, 3 days. Go out of town. Go camping. Do something. Sit down with these people and say, okay, now let's talk about how we can fix this, right? Because there's got to be a way to fix it. So those are the two things that really popped into my head, is that why should I start a business, right? For me, again, with Mission Suite is a perfect example, right? There's two things that I actually kind of hit on those two things. Is that, first of all, I can't imagine not working for myself. I can't imagine not doing this. I can't imagine not working with business owners, with sales teams, to help them actually figure out how to use this kind of cool, funky tech that we have access to these days to make things easier for them, right? To sell more effectively. For me, it's the drive there is that, there are force multipliers out there, like Mission Suite, like this technology that we have access to, that there are so many people that just aren't using because they don't know that it's affordable, or that they can find something that's affordable. I feel a drive. There's something in me that pushes me to get that information out and to get in front of those people. Right? So that's number one. Number two is that, again, there are these force multipliers out there, right? The problem is that so many of them are priced way out of the market for small business owners, for individual solopreneurs and one-person shows and service providers and people like that, right? They're priced so far out there that these people can't use them, right? They can't afford to use them. It's not effective for them. But ironically, those are also the people for whom those force multipliers make the absolute biggest impact. So, problem right there. My solution was to build out my Mission Suite pricing model so that it's actually affordable, so that it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg, and then put a training model around it so that people can actually figure out how to use it and use it effectively. Right, so those two things there really drive me to do this. Right, so for me, it was kind of my business hit both points. Right, it hit the point of, I can't imagine not doing this, and it hit the point of there's a problem that needs a solution that I can solve, right? So both of those things hit for me. So my question to you, and I want to hear, and I'd definitely be interested in hearing your thoughts down in the comments, what drives you? Right? What drives you to start a business? If you're questioning, why should I start a business? Is this something that I should be doing? Why should I be doing it? My question to you, seriously, what drives you? Right? What's your driver? What is it that you can't think of not doing? Or on the flip side, what's a problem that you see a solution to? Right? What's you don't even have to put your solution if you're really early, if you're in a really early stage. If you have one, go for it, right? But let me know in the comments. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on this, so definitely let me know. With that, I'll wrap up this video here. Again, thanks for watching. This is a bit of a different series, no scripting, completely live, just kind of one stream of thought thing that I'm trying out for this month, because I definitely want to have kind of a real conversation with people, right? And be a little less prepared, a little less scripted, and just a bit more raw, because I think there's a lot of value to that, and hopefully you do too. So. Again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. While you're down there, make sure to like, to share, to subscribe to our channel, to ring the bell so that you're notified when we post new videos. There's going to be, you'll probably see some videos here on the screen as I'm kind of wrapping this up with other recommended videos. Check those out too, right? Because there's a lot there. You'll see the video, the last video that I posted as one of them. But check that out. Check out some of the other stuff on our channel. And if you want some more information about Mission Suite, definitely drop down in the description. There's some more information there too. So with that, I'm going to say again, thanks again for watching, and we will see you next time around. Cheers.